What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Milli. We're back with another episode.
Yes.
So Milli, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to be talking about the two Netflix roasts that are out right now. So the roast of Kevin Hart and then the roast of Tom Brady. We finished up the Kevin Hart one and then we watched the Tom Brady one. We know we're a little late on that one.
Yeah, we were kind of just like, watch the Kevin Hart one. There were some references to the Tom Brady one. Tom Brady obviously opened for the Kevin Hart one.
Yep.
So, we were like, all right, let's go back and watch the Tom Brady roast so that we can really get caught up.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's exactly what we did. So said, so done. And now we've watched both of Netflix's roasts that they have, and they were both live roasts.
Yeah,
which is pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
I really
cool.
like
They've
that.
Done a lot of the live comedy recently. We also talked about Funny AF in one of our other videos.
Yeah,
so.
If you haven't seen that, go watch it because we were referencing another Netflix show. But I think it's a pretty cool element that Netflix is trying to bring in now, is like a little bit more like live things happening. Like, kind of like live TV.
Yeah, well, I think about, this is so random and off topic also, when they tried to do that live Love is Blind reunion and it went horribly. It went horribly.
So bad. We waited for
so long.
But they've come a long way.
Yeah. I was like, not me to get into a story. And we were just started dating and we tried to wait it out and watch it together and you were like, I gotta go home. And then we ended up watching it separately after.
Yeah,
because it was so horrible. But now we're really getting into more live stuff, which is cool to see. We haven't watched anything live yet, but
not yet. But yeah, it's cool that they do have some live options. And it would have been pretty funny to watch like one of those roasts live. And I know
now we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, exactly. And also like with Funny AF, it was really cool that there was like live voting for the audience.
Yes, I know. We missed out on that by like
cool.
10 days.
I know, yeah. I mean, the audience did what they needed
They
to.
They did. It was good outcome.
But yeah, just diving into now like the roasts themselves, like I guess you want to talk about Kevin Hart roast or you want to talk about Tom Brady first?
I would say we watched the Kevin Hart roast first.
Yeah,
so
let's do that one. Okay,
cool. I thought that one was funnier. Yeah.
Kevin Hart roast definitely raised the bar, I think. Like,
well, because it was like comedians roasting comedians.
Yeah.
So it was like everybody knew what they were doing.
Exactly. Yeah, because I guess that would probably be my one downside with like the Tom Brady roast was, some of the football players, they were all right. It wasn't too funny, but when there were real comics, like actual comics at the Kevin Hart roast, really going...
Nikki Glazer's set at the Tom Brady one
was crazy. Yeah, her set was insane.
Was crazy.
She was fantastic.
But anyway, back to the
but the Kevin Hart roast, I really like. Well, I mean, I'll say with both of them, like as a whole, I really love like kind of the reintroduction to like old school comedy. I feel like we haven't really seen that as of late recently. Like a lot of things with whatever you want to call them with society, whatever, people maybe making like low bro jokes at different groups, but I feel like this was the first time in a while we've gotten that pure comedy back, like just making fun of people, making fun of their like success, like rumors, like all of that stuff was brought into it.
Absolutely. And I feel like everyone was like really good sports about it too. Like nobody got super offended. There were some jokes that were a little questionable.
A little crazy.
We weren't laughing at some of them over here.
Some of the jokes were a little on that fine line.
But I feel like the people who were having the jokes made about them were like really good sports. The people who were getting roasted, great sports. Kevin Hart, I mean, he was great. He was honestly a great, perfect person to roast.
100%. And he was also a great host for the Tom Brady race.
He was.
Like, he did like a really great job facilitating everything.
Yes.
And then, for his own roast, he was also in such like an integral position. And,
he was.
And he's just so like funny. A hysterical character. He's an hysterical person. Like overall, I think like as soon as Kevin Hart is involved in something, it's going to be like pretty funny.
It's going to be funny. He doesn't really have a serious bone.
Nah, definitely not. He's caught a lot of stray bullets about his movies and the acting and stuff, but at the end of the day, like his bread and butter is comedy. He's a comic. He was a comic first before an actor. And at the end of the day, the guy's hysterical.
Yeah, he's so
he's
funny.
So funny.
He's so funny.
And I think like you mentioned such a good point about like the roasting arena itself, because part of a good roast is exactly that. People not taking it too seriously, getting offended by jokes, because comedy is just that, right?
Yeah.
Like it is meant to be comedic, you know? On the Tom Brady roast, there were they called them the two racist beers.
Oh my God,
those two guys, you know, their skit was pretty crazy. It was pretty outrageous. They had a lot of, you know, very touchy topics that they
comparing Tom Brady to many serial killers, not just one.
That was crazy.
Many serial killers.
That was crazy. That was nuts. So I mean, again, like that is kind of the point of comedy, to kind of tote that fine line and still make it funny, have laughs about it, and then everybody kind of hug and, you know, dap it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I really love seeing that. Like I really love seeing comics be unfiltered and kind of just like really lean into like their funniness. I got to give a shout out to Jeff Ross. Like I'm not old enough quite to know like what made him famous or how he got famous, but him in these last two roasts,
so funny,
hysterical,
so funny,
hysterical, like so funny. And yeah, I just think like, especially with the Kevin Hart roast, they brought in so many like great comedians, so many great people.
Yes, and something really cool that you pointed out as well, a lot of the Funny AF finalists were in the crowd, and then the winner, Ron Taylor, was up on the stage with them. They didn't really show him very much, but like a couple camera angles, you had called it out, and we were like, oh my gosh.
Sick, yeah.
Because the whole point of Funny AF was like giving a new up and coming comedian like a seat at the table. Exactly, and so it was really cool to see that kind of come to fruition, and like Kevin bringing him and putting him up on the stage 100%. And having him sitting on the couch with the rest of the comedians was like really cool
so
to
sick.
See.
You can really see like Kevin is like, he really cares about comedy and really cares about the future of comedy. And it was sick seeing like Osama, Reggie, like Megan, Caitlin. What was the black woman's name? Do you remember?
Which one?
There were a few. I can't remember, but one of the ones we saw in the crowd. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool element to Kevin Hart's roast. Like he definitely is not just someone who is talking the talk, he's also walking the walk, you know. He came out with the show Funny AF. He had the intention that he wanted to bring on the next generation of comics. And then immediately after the closing of that show, for his own roast, he brought those comics, not to roast him, but to be in the crowd and be a part of the event. And I think that's unbelievable. That's like really cool that he did that.
Very cool.
And I think it just highlights, you know, we're kind of it seems with these events that Kevin has been pushing forward, it seems like we're on the cusp of like maybe a return to comedy, you know?
Honestly.
And I think it would be really cool to see kind of like a resurgence of society not taking itself so seriously, you know? I feel like we need a little bit more laughter. We need a little bit more like jokes within society, because I feel like, you know, when you can make fun of yourself, it creates like a connection within like society. If every group can make fun of themselves and make fun of others and like kind of take it, you know, we kind of like humanize each other and bring us like more relatable.
Yeah, well, because I feel like it also acknowledges the fact that like society is pretty messed up. And like you know, there's a lot of different stereotypes and a lot of different things that like people don't really acknowledge. And so like seeing it brought up in a comedy forum is like honestly kind of refreshing almost, because it's like these are kind of difficult topics that they're poking jokes at, but also bringing attention to.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And that's such like a important element to it as well, is that there's like a little bit of truth in every joke, right? So it's like we can joke about society and laugh about society while also like acknowledging the flaws in our society.
Absolutely.
And I think that, you know, comedy is something that brings everybody together, you know, laughing, enjoying a show, like, you know, laughter itself is like a unifying action that humans make. So yeah, I really love the fact that like these sorts of events are coming back out, and we're seeing these roasts, you know, with the Kevin Hart, the Tom Brady, and the show Funny AF. You know, it's kind of like a resurgence of comedy, and I love that.
Definitely.
We needed that. that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like there haven't been a lot of huge, really popular comedy specials in the last few years. I'm sure there's some that we could catch up on from some of the comics that we've seen in these roasts.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
Maybe
I
we
feel
could check
like
out that
this.
Nikki Glaser
Yeah,
one.
I feel like hers
Yeah.
would probably be really funny.
Facts.
But I definitely feel like, especially with the Kevin Hart roast and Funny AF, Kevin Hart's show also, I feel like that is kind of bringing a lot more attention back to comedy and stand-up comedy and like laughter. I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of like lightening the mood a little bit because you know it has been getting dark out here. It's been pretty scary.
It's
so
dark out here.
Yeah,
it's
so
dark.
comedy I feel like is laughter is the best medicine. Comedy is a great unifying factor. And so yeah, it's been great. I really enjoyed the roasts. Both of them were solid. I personally think Kevin Hart's roast has the edge. It was hysterical from front to back, like an absolutely legendary roast. Like
and Kevin, he takes it and gives it.
Yeah, he does. He's hysterical. He's hysterical. So yeah, I mean, really enjoyed those and really love to see this push back towards like comedy coming back and people not being afraid to be the butt of someone's joke or to make a joke, right? I think that element in society is needed, and I'm glad that that's coming back a little bit. So yeah, I really enjoyed these like comedy shows.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we watched them, and definitely recommend watching them if you haven't.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead.
No, you.
Well, I was gonna say I know the Tom Brady one was about 3 hours. I'm assuming the Kevin Hart one was also
like it was like a little over 2. Yeah.
So yeah, buckle in or just like watch it in segments.
Parts.
That's kind of what we did.
Yeah, 100%. I think like depending on what you're looking for, if you're someone who likes sports and likes football or was a Tom Brady fan or hater, I'd say start there.
Yeah.
If you're someone who's really just there for the laughs and you just want to have a good time, I would go to the Kevin Hart one, just because it's hysterical from start to end. So it depends what you're looking for, but both were good watches, and I'd highly recommend going and watching the roasts that are on Netflix. So you've got the roast of Kevin Hart and the roast of Tom Brady.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't wait to see who's next.
I know, right?
Who's stepping up next? literally. Nah, run it though for Netflix. If you're out there, we're ready for it. So yeah, those are our thoughts on the roasts of Kevin Hart and Tom Brady on Netflix. Highly recommend if you haven't seen them.
And if you made it this far,
thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.